All right, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. This is Brother Azariah from WFI, Jersey, Philly, coming back with another video, giving all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which the world calls Jesus Christ. Shalom, Shalom. All right, I wanted to do this video on my laptop to make it more edifying, but all hell kind of broke loose tonight. So we're going to just do this video on the phone. All right. So with that being said, and we're going to be fully cutting up, destroying, and debunking the book of Jasher and the book of Enoch. Because I noticed in Israel, you got a lot of brothers and sisters, all right, that's into the book of Jasher, into the book of Enoch, Jubilees. All right, you want to read the book of Mormons, Salakia. All right, so it's a lot of folly books and sorcery books in Israel. All right, so we're gonna cut the two top ones out of the land of the living, man. It should have never been alive in the first place. Let's go to that word debunked. All right, this is what debunked means. It says explode, deflate, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna deflate that doctrine. Well, not well. It is a doctrine. Are we going to deflate that? Puncture, quash, expose. See, that's what I'm looking to do today. We're looking to expose. Real quick, let me grab this one precept. It's a classic. I pull it a lot. All right, 2 Corinthians. All right, 10 and verse 3. This is the book of 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 3. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." Slack, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. So we about to go into the book of Enoch. It's Slakia. We're going to go into the book of Jasher first. Then we're going to deal with the book of Enoch. Now, you notice with a lot of these doctrines and books, you can go within the book and actually cut it up. Let's go to the book of Jasher, all right, chapter 36, and I believe it's verse 31. Let me just go to the 36th chapter. All right, so this is the book of Jasher 36, and we're going to go all the way down to verse 31. It says, and afterward, now, real quick before I read that, I don't want to spoil it. Now, if the book of Jasher coincides with the Bible, there's not going to be contradictions. One book is not going to go into this, and the other book is not really mentioning that. All right, that's not actually going to happen. All right, but check this out. All right, this is madness. Honestly, I don't know how Jake believed these things, man. These damn fables. All right, this is the book of Jasher, the 36th chapter and verse 31. It says, and afterward, about 120 great and terrible animals came out from the wilderness at the other side of the sea. And they all came to the place where the asses were, and they placed themselves there. Verse 32. And those animals, let me try to zoom in for you. It says, and those animals from their middle downward, from the waist down, that's what it's saying, from their middle downward were in the shape of the children of men. All right, so they had legs. From their waist down, they had legs and feet and toes like a man. All right, Salakia, kind of lost my place. Okay, kind. And from their middle upward, so from their waist upward, some had the likeness of bears. And some had the likeness of Kephas with tails behind them from between their shoulders, reaching down to the earth like the tails of the Dutchafath. And these animals came and mounted and rode upon these asses and led them away. And they went away unto this day. See, so this is madness. You got damn half beast, half man, all right, creatures riding on asses. All right, so this is what the book of Enoch is trying to tell, or the book of Jasher, Salakia. I keep saying the two and mixing them up because they both garbage, man. All right, let me half human, half bear. All right, so this is what you know. All right, so is this in the Bible? All right, you got G. Yo, this is folly, man. All right, Slacky, it's kind of graphic. It's kind of graphic. All right, but that's not in the Bible. All right, let's try to get another picture. This is not in the Bible. All right, neither is it intimidating, man. This is an abomination unto the Lord thy God, man. For something like this to even come about, that would mean that man and these animals they kind of bred together. What the Lord said, hey, that's going off. So the Lord's not gonna make that a thing. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, 20 and verse 15. This is the book of Leviticus 20 and 15. It says, and if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast. See that? So according to whoever made the book of Jasher, all right, you got men and animals laying down together. Well, the Lord said that's an abomination. All right, the Lord's not going to bring this upon the earth. That's madness. And it's not in the Bible. Verse 16. And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So if you were spotted in ancient Israel as a woman trying to lay down with a horse, you see, that's kind of happening now. You got videos that surface on the media. You got women trying to sleep with horses. All right, then the lady dies. You know, because that's madness, man. The Lord is not dealing with half man and half cattle. Half sheep, half man. Half bear. Look, let me get that picture again. Let me see if I can get that. All right, the Lord's not dealing with this, man. You see, this looks like something Esau would create. And Esau did create this, man. You got half moose, a damn moose mixed with a man. And then on top of it, he got a damn tattoo. All right, so these things are not in the Bible. These two animals can't mix. Well, man and beast can't mix. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter. All right. 1 Corinthians 15, and we're going to start at verse 39. All right, so this is one problem with the book of Jasher. This is the book of 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 39. All right, it says all flesh is not the same flesh. So the flesh of a beast and the flesh of man is not the same. Just like a dog and a fish, they don't have the same flesh. Just like a fowl of the air and a crocodile, they don't have the same flesh. All flesh is not the same. But there is one kind of flesh of men and another flesh of beasts. So these two different flesh are not the same, meaning they can't be together. That's why the Lord said, you as a man or a woman, you shouldn't lie down with any type of beast, man. That's an abomination because you don't have the same flesh. You're two different entities, or if you have ears to hear. All right, I'm going to read that again. It says, all flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. So there's, for lack of better terms, there's angelic bodies and there's carnal bodies. All right, the bodies we live in. That's the terrestrial body. And the angel's body, that would be the celestial body. All right. So when they try to say in Genesis, the 6th chapter, 6 and verse 4, all right, what they try to say, well, or 6 and 1, what they try to say, the sons of God came down, what you're trying to say, those are giants or whatever. All right, the sons of God, well, Slacky, they say that the sons of God, which according to them are the angels of God, they came down and slept with the daughters of men, That can't be so, because the Lord said there's a celestial body and there's bodies terrestrial. They're two different bodies. They can't come together to be one. Neither can they lay down with one another. All right. Just like even in Genesis, the 19th chapter. All right. Let me grab it real quick. All right. Genesis 19:5. It's like you. All right, I'm going to start at verse 5. This is the book of Genesis 19 and verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. So you have these men of Sodom and Gomorrah. They want to know the angels of God. Because remember, the two angels were sent there are to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Because in the 18th chapter, the Lord, all right, Yahweh Shai, physically came down and spoke with Abraham. And he told him of his angels, or the angels were present. And basically it was told Abraham that these two angels, they kind of got to handle some business in Sodom and Gomorrah. So you had these two angels. Now they're dwelling in Lot's house. All right. Verse 6. It's like you bear with me, you got stuffy nose. All right. It says, And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Because it's a wicked thing for a man in his simple and small brain to think he can lay down with an angel, man. I'm going to have angel babies. I'm going to have an angelic baby. There's no such thing as a demigod. There's no demigods in the Bible, man. All right. There's no demigod. So this is wickedness, man. He says, do not so wickedly. All right, these things are not to be done amongst the children of men. Verse 8. Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you. And do ye to them as is good in your eyes. So he say, hey, just take my daughters, man. All right, y'all are the same flesh. All right, it's man and man. I'm saying that as in man and female. All right, they can lay together. All right, so he's trying to persuade them to do something more righteous. All right, it says, only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. See that? And these men are lusting, man. They're faggots. Talking about some stand back. All right. It says stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. All right. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut the door, and shut to the door. Slack you. So the angels pulled them in. Verse 11. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. So the angels even know that this is wickedness. Now you had these men trying to sleep with these angels, and the angels, they blinded them. Because it's a commandment of God that, hey, these two different flesh can't come together. Or these two different bodies, they can't mix with one another, man. There's a celestial body and there's a body terrestrial. And the Lord planned to keep it like that. So he programmed his angels and caused them to blind these men. So this is a clear cut. You can't have angels coming down and sleeping with man. That's not a thing. All right. Neither are you going to have centaurs, half bears and half men. All right. That's not actually in the Bible. The Lord is completely against that. And he showed you that. All right. That's plain upon tables. All right. So that's one cut right there. All right. Let's go to the book of Jasher. I believe it's 16 and 23. All right. Jasher chapter 16. All right. We're just going to do the same thing. All right, we're going to go down to verse 23. So this is the book of Jasher 16 and verse 23. And Sarai, which is Sarah, the daughter of Haran. Now, Haran is Abraham's brother. All right. I just want to make that clear. All right. It says, let me read that again. And Sarah, the daughter of Haran. All right. So it's saying that Sarah or it's saying that Haran is Sarah's daughter. All right. Now, again, like I said, Abraham and Haran are blood brothers. They were born of Terah. Terah is their father. Now, if this is saying Haran is Sarah's father, then that would mean Abraham's wife is Abraham's niece at the same time, man. So this is what the book of Jasher is saying. Let me read this again. It says, this is Jasher 16 and 23. And Sarah, the daughter of Haran, Abraham's wife, was still barren in those days. She did not bear to Abraham either son or daughter. So this verse right here is telling you that Sarah would be Abraham's niece. So you mean to tell me Abraham, he married his niece? All right. Is that what's going on? That's not actually so. This whole entire thing contradicts what the KJV Bible says. Let's go to the book of Genesis 11 and 23. I mean 11 and 31, Salaki. There's another precept I want, Lord willing, to come back to my mind. All right, so this is the book of Genesis 11 and 31. And Terah took Abraham, or Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son. So Lot's father is Haran. All right. And what we just read was that Haran is the son of Terah and Abraham is the son of Terah. So meaning they're brothers. Now, if Abraham has a son, Abraham's son would be Haran's nephew. If Haran has a daughter, that Haran's daughter would be Abraham's niece. All right. So let me start from the top. It says, and Terah took Abram, his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarah, his daughter-in-law. So Terah is actually Sarah's daughter-in-law. His son's Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. So you see there's a complete contradiction. Well, I don't got to close that out. Let's go to Genesis 22. 12, Salaki. This is the book of Genesis 20 and verse 12. All right, this is the book of Genesis 20 and 12. It says, yet indeed she is my sister. Let's get the context. All right, because brothers may say, oh, brother, you cherry picking scriptures. All right, get the context. All right, we're going to get the context for you. What the hell? Salaki. All right, this is the book of Genesis 20, and I'm going to start at verse 11. It says, and Abraham said, because I thought surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. All right. She is the daughter of my father. All right. But not the daughter of my mother. And she became my wife. All right. So this is clear and cut, plain upon tables. All right. Showing you a clear contradiction between the books. The KJV that we all love and know is saying that Sarah would be the daughter-in-law of Terah. But in the book of Jasher, it's saying that Sarah is actually Haran's son. So you see, these things are not saying the same thing. All right. The Lord said, I speak once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not. He said, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. Now we have 2 witnesses showing you that the book of Jasher is not right. All right, we're going to get one more. Let's go to the book of Jasher. All right. Jasher, what is that? 81. All right, 37. It's like, all right, we're going to just do the same thing. We're going to go to the 81st chapter. All right, I'm going to start at 37. All right, this is the book of Jasher, 81 and verse 37. And Moses did so, and he lifted up his rod upon the sea and divided it. And the waters of the sea were divided into 12 parts, and the children of Israel passed through on foot with shoes as a man would pass through a prepared road. So here in the book of Jasher, the 81st chapter, it's saying that the Red Sea was parted or divided into 12 parts. Now, let's see if the Bible actually coincides with that. All right, let's go to the book of Exodus. All right, Exodus 14, and we're going to start at verse 21. I'm going to go to the 14th chapter. All right, this is the book of Exodus 14 and verse 21. It says, and Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. So the Lord divided the Red Sea straight through the middle, and you had a wall on each side. All right. So it's not, we just read here a totally different thing than what we just read in the book of Jasher. So what you gonna say? Oh, the Bible. All right, well, let's just believe the book of Jasher instead of the KJV Bible. Let's just throw the Bible out. Hell no, man. We gotta throw away the book of Jasher. Why the hell is it saying he split the sea into 12 parts where it says here, hey, the Lord only split the sea down the middle, man. And you had two walls, one on the left and one on the right-hand side because the sea was split, all right? So we got to put down these damn Jewish fables in these last days. Let me get this precept in the book of Revelation 22 and verse 18. This is the book of Revelation 22 and verse 18. It says, for I testify unto you, for I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. So if you continue to read books that are adding things and taking away things, then you're going to be destroyed by the plagues that's coming to Babylon, that's coming to Russia, that's coming to UK, Germany, Ham, all right? Japan. All these plagues that are written to come upon these nations, they're going to end up falling on you if you continue to cleave to these doctrines. All right, you got to get rid of these damn books. All right? And it's a lot of brothers reading these damn books, man. I haven't heard so much sisters, all right, but I'm sure there is a lot. But you brothers got to throw away these books, man. All right, they're not good for you. Let me get the book of Romans 16 and verse 17. All right, this is Romans 16 and 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. So brothers that be having these doctrines, when you first meet these brothers, you got to rebuke them. That's what you got to do and show them, brother, this book is kind of going off here. All right, it's kind of going off over here. Brother, you got to put that book down. Now, if the brother, he's like, well, I'm not going to let the book down. Even though you showed him the clear cut, he said, brother, I'm not going to let the book down. I'm not going to put the book down. Hey, it's deep prophecy in here. You got centaurs. You got the seas being parted into 12 instead of just one. All right. Hey, this got everything that you need, man. Don't listen to them damn brothers, man. All right, they believe in fables. All right. When they probably watched Harry Potter, they believed in that. When they watched what is the damn movie called? Something to Narnia. All right, I'm sure they believed in that. They said, hold on, in the book of Narnia, that's really it's kind of linking up with the scriptures. The book of Narnia is not linking up with the scriptures, man. You don't got half goats and half men. All right, that's not actually in the Bible. So when these men cleave to these doctrines and you can't pry them away from these doctrines, and the Lord say you have to leave them alone, man. You got to avoid them because they could end up plaguing your mind, all right, and destroy you. Then you fall into these different doctrines and you end up not making it out here, man. All right. So, hey, brothers, you got to avoid the book of Jasher. All right. Let's get on the book of Enoch. All right. What damn chapter is that, man? Okay, Con. Enoch 7. All right, that whole chapter is folly. All right, Salakia. All right, bear with me. All right, so the book of Enoch, the 7th chapter. All right, I gotta let y'all see this. I'm gonna read this. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I want to get right to the point. Okay, Khan. This is the book of Enoch 7, the 7th chapter and verse 10. It says, then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach and with whom they cohabited, teaching them. What the hell? So they're saying angels. All right. It says teaching them sorcery. Let's get the context. Let's go to verse 9. It says these are the names of their chiefs. Hold on. Let me give more context. All right. Well, this will tell you enough. All right. Verse 9. It says, these are the names of their chiefs, Samyaza, who was their leader, Kabar, Ramil, Akabil, Tamil, Ramiel, Daniel, Akazil, Sarakniel, Yel, Salakia, Asael, Armors, Batrel, Anani, Zevabi, all right? Sam Savel, Ertel, Terrell, Yamyel, Araz, Yel. These were the prefects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. So they're saying that these are angels, all right? Well, I've never seen these angels' names in the Bible. All right, verse 10. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. So these angels, they're saying, were teaching men to do sorcery. Now, it's actually unlawful to do sorcery. Let me get 1 Samuel the 20th chapter. All right, so this is the book of 1 Samuel 28 and verse 9. It says, and the woman said unto him, behold, I start at verse 8, and Saul disguised himself and put on other raiment. And he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night, and he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. So Saul is asking for this witch, this sorcerer, all right, to basically conjure me up a spirit. All right, that's sorcery. Verse 9. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die? Because it was a sin to allow these witches and warlocks and sorcerers to live on the earth, man. The Lord said, I'm going to grab this. what is that? Exodus 22 and 18. It's like you. So this is the book of Exodus 22 and 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So the Lord just said through the scriptures, hey, if you a sorcerer or a witch, hey, you can't live. You're going to get put to death. Now, the book of Enoch is not saying, men are doing or men are using sorcery. The book of Enoch is saying that angels are using sorcery. But hold on now. If it's a sin to do sorcery and the angels listen to God, then I don't know about that book of Enoch. All right, this is Psalms. It's like you. Psalms 103. Because the angels of the Most High, they don't break God's commandments. All right, this is the book of Psalms 103 and verse 21. I'll start at verse 20. It says, bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. So if the Lord gave a commandment and said, well, you can't suffer a witch to live, because there's no doing sorcery in Israel. All right, the Lord's not dealing with that. Because sorcery, you're on the left-hand side. The Most High is on the right-hand side. Anything that's contrary to the Lord is deemed as wickedness. It's profane. It's ungodly. So how is it that you got these angels in the book of Enoch? They doing sorcery and they're breaking God's commandments. But the Lord just said in Psalms 103 and 20 that the angels, they listen to God's commandments. Let's get another one in the book of 2nd Ezra 8 and 20. It's the book of 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. We're going to start at verse 20. It's the book of 2nd Ezra 8 and 20. O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlastingness, which beholdest from above things in the heaven and in the air, whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, before whom the host of angels stand with trembling. So the host of the angels, they stand before the Most High with trembling, meaning they fear the Most High. They're scared of him, man. All right? So they're not going to break his law because they know, hey, with the snap of a finger, they're gone, man. Angels can't rebel against God. We just read it. They're fearful of the Most High. And not only that, it says that they keep God's commandments, man. All right, so there's no way in hell these angels are teaching men sorcery, man. That's off. All right, going back to this folly book of Enoch 7 and verse 11. And it gets worse. And the woman conceiving brought forth giants. All right, so the angels supposedly and man, they came together and now you have giants on the earth. Verse 12, whose stature was each 300 cubits. All right. So real quick, they saying these giants are 300 cubits. All right. How tall is 300 cubits? All right, so 300 cubits, Salakia. All right, so 300 cubits equals basically 492 feet. All right, let's look up 400 foot tall building. All right, so what they're saying is this is a 400 foot tall building. All right, so in the book of Enoch, they're saying that the giants were this tall, the size of a building. Now, yes, there was giants in the Bible, but the giants weren't that tall. Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel 17 and verse 4. When it says giants, I didn't even put Samuel, that's the spirit. All right. When they say giant, well, when the Bible says giants, it's not meaning they're 400 feet tall, man. Meaning these people these giants, they're just taller than everybody else. Just like if you go to the NBA, me, if I was to go to the NBA and I stood next to LeBron or Kevin Durant, I would say, damn, he's a giant next to me. I may be over exaggerating, all right, but that's the fact of the matter. He's way bigger than me, so I may call him a giant. This is the book of 1 Samuel 17 and verse 4. It says, and there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span, meaning he was 9 foot tall. He was 9 feet, all right, 9 foot and 9 inches. All right, that's 6 cubits in a span. This is the tallest man, all right, you will see in the Bible, not a 9-foot man. Now, the second tallest, all right, let's go to the First Chronicles 11 and 22. All right, we're going to just go to the 11th chapter. Are we going to start at 22? This is First Chronicles 11 and verse 22. And it reads, Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. Now you see, this is a perfect example of exaggeration. These Moabites they didn't look like lions. They didn't have the figure of lions, but they were big and fierce like a lion would be. Intimidating like a lion, like a lion would be. All right? Continuing on. Also, he went down and slew a lion in a pit in a snowy day. Verse 23. And he slew an Egyptian, a man of great stature, 5 cubits high, and in the Egyptian's hand was a spear like a weaver's beam. And he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. So 5 cubits high would be 7 foot or 7 feet and pretty much 5 to 6 inches. All right, so this is a 7-foot man. He's also considered to be a giant. These would be giants in the Bible. Now, some people may say, well, these are exaggerated. All right. Well, I believe, what's his name, man? 8-foot Madlow. I know his name is something Madlow. I was an Edomite. He grew to be 8 feet, almost 9. All right, world's tallest man. There we go. Robert Wadlow. All right, and Robert Wadlow. Let me see something. How tall was Robert? There we go. All right, so Robert was 8 foot and 11 inches. All right, and you can continue to see you got 8 foot 3 inches. Another lady, 7 foot 7 inches. All right, you got John Rogan, 8 foot 9 inches. All right, you got Leonid Stanek, 8 foot 5 inches. You got Bao Xingshun, 7 foot 9 inches. Zing Zhenlian, 8 foot 2 inches. All right, so these were your ancient giants. You see how tall this man is next to this guy? All right, he's a giant. These were giants. So the giants of the Bible are 400 foot tall, man. All right, there was no man that was this tall. All right, that's folly. We just showed you the only accounts of giants and their actual heights. All right, so let's go back to this in the book of Enoch 7 and verse, where we at? Verse 12. It says, whose stature was each 300 cubits. We disproved that. These devoured all which the labor of men produced until it became impossible to feed them. So you had these giants. Anything that man created, they was eating it. So if they were alive today, they would eat cars. They would eat houses. All right, you may pay your rent. Hey, but a giant might come through and kind of eat your house, man. All right, with you in it. Eat your house. He's drinking water from the water water towers. All right. So this is what the book of Joshua is dealing with. It's damn folly. All right. It says, but it was impossible to feed them. Because if you got 400-foot giants, I mean, of course, the things that man has created is not going to be enough. Because y'all big, y'all damn too big, man. All right. So, of course, there wouldn't be enough to feed you. Verse 13. When they turned themselves against men, so the giants, they said, know what, to hell with that. We just going to kill men. All right. In order to devour them. All right. So you got the book of Jasher talking about 400-foot giants grabbing men and devouring their flesh, man. Is this what the Bible is talking about? Hell no, man. So you see these books, they contradict what the Most High has laid out for us, the true doctrine of God. Let's get this last precept in 2 Timothy 3 and verse 16. It's the book of 2 Timothy 3 and verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. So you see through the scriptures we can disprove other books and debunk them. What was those synonyms for that word debunk? Cause it to explode, deflate. All right. We kind of totally put it to naught with the Bible, with the words of the Most High God. He said it's also profitable for doctrine. So there's no other doctrine you should be cleaving to but the doctrine of life, which comes from the Bible. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying to at least one brother or even to one sister. With that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, which the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, which the world calls Jesus Christ, and Kwam Yashai.